Just groove into the haunted music.
The haunted music. It is literally the best that royalty-free music for YouTube could provide to us at a last moment. Hello, everyone. We're old.
Hi. So old. So old.
Well, like, in terms of, like, podcasts, yes.
That's true.
We're very old. Sky is wearing a delightful holographic birthday hat. Hello, Katie. Hello, Becca. Welcome. Hello, Mike. Mildly scary, royalty-free music. Yes.
It's fitting.
It's
Tis the season.
Thank you, Becca.
Thank you, Becca, for the happy wishes. Yes. Not only is it spooky season, we are also mildly scary, I would think. So it all works out. So
okay.
In a good way. Yeah, we just, doing our thing. We're just here to, like, hang out and celebrate how long we've been going at this podcast thing, because it's been a while, my dudes. Hello.
It has been a while in podcast years.
In podcast years. What is it, like, most podcasts stop after, like,
6 months.
I was just going through, like, the Certified Noonas Spotify account and looking at all of the different, like, K-pop, K-drama podcasts that I followed with the account over the last, and a lot of them have, like, all they've got is, like, a placeholder. Like, like, one placeholder podcast from, like, a year and a half ago, and then it stopped. And you're like...
Well, I remember when we were, like, first doing this, because I had, like, listened to podcasts, and there were very little, like, drama podcasts that I could find.
Yeah.
I remember, like, going through and trying to, like, just search every possible, like, place for things, and there really weren't very many at all. And it's kind of crazy, especially since this whole thing happened in the world, that, like, how many new ones are out right now.
Yeah. But we've been here. There was, like, I think when we started, it was us, and then there was, like, maybe, like, 4 more.
A handful.
It was a very small amount.
Especially when you, like, thought of it in terms of a drama podcast. There at that time, I think a lot of, like, the K-pop podcasts were coming out.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. Oh, I love seeing people coming in just to,
so it's not just us talking to each other.
Listen, we do that at least. Listen, we do that at least once a week. We sit around and we talk to each other, Frankie, or Aussie K-pop mom, is moving right now, and she's building a house, so that is definitely a hellhole.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Thank you for stopping by, especially since, dear God, it's like 8 a.m. there. What is you doing?
Just gotta wake up early. I talk to myself all the time. I do that as well.
Yeah, me too. I pretend like I'm talking to my dog so that,
like,
I'm not talking to myself, but
the fact that everybody has phones now and, like, Bluetooth, you can put your Bluetooth earphones in, and, like, people don't know that you're talking to yourself anymore. They think you're on the phone. It's like, I'm not crazy.
I remember, like, back in the day, there was an ad that came out when, like, Bluetooth headphones were, like, first a thing, and it was, like, set in Newfoundland, and it was this old lady who was just walking around saying absolute gibberish. Like, it was just, like, it would be, like, this out of context, like, yeah, the lobsters, we should get the lobsters, but it just sounded like she looked crazy, and then at the end of it, she turned, and there was, like, the little Bluetooth, and I was like,
gotcha.
Hey, Nicole!
Remember those, like, jawbone things?
Yeah.
Yes.
Where, like, kind of see them a little bit more. I remember having one of I was commuting a lot for work then, so I had one of those to talk on the phone.
When you date yourself in the live stream.
Yeah.
Remember flip phones when they weren't just for drug dealers? Because I do.
Back in college.
When it wasn't a flip phone, and like to get a custom ringtone, you had to actually make it on your number pad.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. I used to have one of those phones that had the little, oh, I loved it. It had the little slide out, like, keyboard.
Yes.
I thought I was the height of
I love
sophistication
that.
with that slide out keyboard.
Yeah, my first one was
miss
like,
those
you
days.
know, it wasn't the Nokia one, but it was like it, where it didn't fold, it didn't slide, it didn't take text, like, even if you paid for it, just... how times have changed.
Yeah.
Man,
I keep
kinda
seeing,
cool.
you know, the K-drama PPL. I've been watching Hometown Cha-Cha-Cha, and clearly one of those phones that, like, folds in the middle, but it's like a tablet phone.
Yes.
It's
Yeah,
like clearly like a sponsor. They freak me out. I don't like it. It feels like witchcraft to me.
I don't like it because it folds the screen.
Yeah,
like,
and
there's
it's
like,
there's
you
like a little
can't
like
see
dark
it.
line.
Don't understand though, like, is if you have that technology, then why are they not using it on like all the phones so that like they don't break?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
so
you
we don't,
mean-
you know, because clearly
you mean
if
like
it
my
can do
phone screen
this,
that's
it
just
should be able
garbage
to
at
fall
this point?
without.
No.
Give me
I
my
remember
regular phone.
If they
having
did
like
that, we
cards
wouldn't buy
in
new
college,
phones.
like the
Oh.
phone cards.
Yes.
Yeah, because I didn't have a cell phone in
Yes.
college.
I did have a cell phone in college, but the only reason I did, and I hated it, was because my mom wanted to be able to call me. Ugh.
I remember mostly using landlines, like,
Yeah.
in college.
Yeah, and
When I was in
okay,
college, cell phones were still like this.
Yeah,
the bag,
So
put in the bag
nobody
phone.
had.
Bags.
or just the phones in your
Car
car.
phones.
Yeah,
Car phones, yeah.
I heard
like
all.
Saved by the Bell.
I didn't get one until I was pregnant and I was working a job where like I worked until midnight every night and then had to drive along this like river road right like next to a cliff into the river.
Oh,
And, like,
no,
My
no.
mother-in-law like called my husband and was like, "You are buying her a cell phone right now." It's like,
As if
she's
that
gonna
would
go
help.
over a cliff and nobody will know where she is.
Well, like, if you
would
were
help
over
you
a
if you
cliff,
could help.
nobody
Like-
would know where you were anyway. Like, 'cause, like, what
Yeah.
are you calling on the phone? Like,
Hey, I
Like-
wasn't gonna argue. I got a phone. It was
Yeah, it's true.
that's true. That's true. My mom's house, as soon as you hit the driveway, cell service cuts off. So, it is truly a nightmare.
Oh, I remember those free periods of time. That was the best.
Yes.
Free after 9.
Yes. Oh man. Okay, so when I was like in my mid-20s, before I moved to Halifax, before moving back to Montreal, when I lived in Montreal, there was this company that now exists in more places. I was like, I'm gonna sneeze. Am I? No. Okay. And they had, at the time, this was unheard of in Canada. They're called Public Mobile. This is not an ad for Public Mobile because they're very different now. Like, they were, like, bought out by a big company and they're not as great anymore. But it was unlimited talk, unlimited text, and this is the most important part, unlimited data for $45 a month.
My sister still has that plan. It was like
Oh!
like that was the first plan she got. She really splurged with like Fido or something. And as long as you just keep paying your
Yeah.
plan, you keep
They-
getting it. And they
they
used
grandfather
to
you
call
in,
it
yeah.
something else. Like they didn't call it data, but
Yeah.
it is. So now she's like, I'm gonna keep paying that bill till I die. Like it's,
Yeah,
The,
keep hold
the
of
other
it.
the other thing about Public Mobile is you bought the phone outright, so you didn't have to like do any credit checks, and so they didn't actually. You never had to put your actual name. You just had to put a name, so you could put any name that you wanted. So I put Diana Prince. So I was Wonder Woman. Oh God, Public Mobile, how I miss you. I would have kept it, but they didn't have it in Halifax until like many years after I moved. But womp womp. God, I love talking about how old we are. Isn't it fun?
I mean, it fits. Dramas have the phones in their PPL.
I
Or
know.
Mhm.
Just that the folding phones, they freak me out. I don't know. I don't like it. It makes me uncomfortable.
Mhm.
Somebody on my
like
timeline
witchcraft.
got one, and she clearly likes it, but she said it was really nice because she was annoyed the other day and she got to snap her phone shut on.
Oh,
That
you know
was the
what?
best part about those
You
things.
do
You're like,
like
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Just like there is something
It's
very
very
sad.
sad.
and you could like throw the phone across the room and not like really
Nothing
worry
hurt
about
yet.
it. Like besides the battery coming out and maybe your back like not being able to like clip on or whatever. Oh, those were good
Oh.
times.
You just can't hang up on people
It's
like you used to
tapping.
be able to. Like, it's just not
I know.
as satisfying.
Taking out of the battery.
Like it's not as satisfying to like angrily press the screen. You're not even tapping the screen because you're
Well,
not pressing.
And with the
anything.
batteries, it was kind of like when you had your landline and you like plugged it, so nobody could call. You couldn't even hear the ring.
Yeah.
Oh,
wow.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Australia ahead of the times. I suppose it's
Seriously.
really great for like the homeless community and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But no, seriously.
Or
it's just-
anybody when you need it, because sometimes you just
Yeah,
need
sometimes
that.
your phone dies, you're caught out.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
people, it used to be fairly common, like if I was at the mall or something, to go into a store and be like, can I use your phone to call my mom? Because, like, I don't have a quarter on me or whatever for the phone. And then now if you're like, can I use your phone to call? And they're like, what's wrong with your phone? Like, why don't, and you're like, it's dead or,
Mhm.
when I didn't have one and it seemed like everybody had one and I didn't, I felt like a loser, but.
Oh my gosh.
I
Becca.
no, girl, no, I feel you though. I feel you.
I always see those TikToks where they're trying to like teach like the kids how to do a rotary phone and they can't do it. Like it's just like too foreign.
Like, it's really not that hard, children.
There was
it's
a
just
scene
love.
in a movie I watched a couple days ago, a Korean movie, and it was all set in Itaewon, to where one of the side characters, he was Korean, but he was black, to where everyone didn't treat him as if he was Korean.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, he had an emergency. He needed to use a cell phone, but it died. So there was a cell phone store right across the street. So he goes in there. There's this, European or white actress chick in there who does not speak Korean. In the middle of Itaewon, there was this cell phone store, and this chick didn't speak Korean. So he was trying to explain hand phone jack, and she kept on being like, there's not a jack here. And he was just losing his mind. It was so funny. Eventually she's like, oh, chargers. Yes, charger.
When my mom first
Cool.
moved to Canada, so they had this thing back in the day, some of you will remember, called a party line, where everyone on her street had the same phone line. And the only way that you would know who was calling by how many rings it would do before pausing. So if it was one ring, then pause, it was the first person, and two, and so on. She was the last person in the line, so hers was like 9 rings. But also, she had just moved there from Thailand, and all of her friends lived overseas. So they would all call at like 2 in the morning.
Bad.
And Mom's like, I am amazed that our neighbors did not run me out of town. Because 2 in the morning they'd be like, well, I know who that's for. But also, the other thing about party lines is you could pick up and listen to whatever people were talking about. Because it was one line. Oh, God.
I bet that was good entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, like, listen, it's a small farming town. Like, everyone knew everyone's business. You know what I mean? Like, so. Like, when you're watching, like, a K-drama and it goes to, like, one of those small towns where it's like, oh, the kooky neighbors that, like, know everything. That's where I grew up. I grew up with all the kooky neighbors that knew everything about everyone. Like, literally, I was just home, and we were driving up the street, and there was just a guy walking on the side of the road. Mom just pulls over, rolls down the window. It's this guy I've known since I was a baby. He's like, oh, hi, Jamie, how you doing? He's like, oh, Joanne, having a good day. Like, my kid's back home. You can't put down that damn cell phone. And I'm just, like, sitting here like, this is so strange. I would rather never talk to my neighbors if it was
Mm-hmm.
humanly humanly possible.
Hi, Rachel.
Oh, hello, Rachel.
Hi.
Oh, thank
Work
you for being
break.
on your work break. Damn, well, see, I don't know where you are in the world, so I don't know if you're working late or working early, but you're doing something.
But
You're
you're
working.
doing good.
You're working, so good job. Good job at pausing that to come say hi, because we love seeing everyone. Yeah. Prank calls. That was a class. Man, when they put like *69, do you remember that business?
Mm-hmm.
That ruined the prank call entirely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember I got pranked. I got pranked when this was a really mean-spirited prank that someone pulled on me, but I've always kind of been very awkward and polite, and so I had this friend, and he had 3 brothers, and they were all like within 2 years of age of each other, and they all sounded identical, and I knew all of them, and there was one who was like 2 years younger than me, and it was kind of not that well kept of a secret that he was in love with me, but I was like, dude, you're like a little kid, like at this point, like I was in high school and he was in middle school, like that sort of age divide, you know what I mean? And so Mark, the one who was my age, and his older brother call me and impersonate the younger brother to ask me out on a date, and me having to be like, oh, I'm real flattered about this, but I hated them. I almost murdered those 2 assholes.
For me, even from a young age, I sounded identical to my mom. So back when we had a landline for the house phone, and every once in a while Dad would call from work for something, sometimes he would think that I was Mom. Not that he'd ever say anything weird, but sometimes the way he would talk would be like, "Oh no, I'm not Mom. It's me." Like, don't get us confused.
I got the other way. Like, I, for the longest time, would get, like, people thought I was younger than I was, like, a lot younger. So people would call and they'd be like, can I talk to your mom? And after my mom died, I would just go, no, she's dead. And I hung up the phone.
I mean,
I was like, I have a, like, 10-year-old child. I'm not,
So
with my mom right now.
My dad was in his 70s when I was born, because my dad and my mom had 30 years between them, and so my mom would send him to like my parent-teacher nights because she just had no patience for that shit. And so my teachers would be like, oh, like I met your grandfather last night, and I'd be like, my grandfather? My grandfather's been
you
dead
saw my
for
grandfather?
years. My grandfather's been dead for years. And they'd be like, oh, and I'm like, that's my dad. He's just old. Don't worry about it. It was a good time. It was a good time. Just Trish's comment about being a marriage license about whether we were related. Well, I'm not going to say small towns, but I do happen to know that 2 of my neighbors where I grew up were first cousins, and they were married, so it is a thing!
Did they know, or was it like a surprise after the marriage? Because that's the worst.
Let's just say real small community. Let's just say they're very nice people.
There was a period of time I lived in Arkansas, and I definitely saw some of that. Yeah.
The Maritimes are basically the Kentucky of Canada, so
my mom was with Mennonites, so like, there's a lot of.
There's that possible.
It's a small community, you know.
If I find my last name, I'm probably related to them, but it's pretty far out.
Same,
like,
my old
we're
last
all
name,
over Kentucky, like not just like centralized.
Like my last name before my dad adopted me, yes. If I found it, we was related, you know.
Yeah. Well, I get that too, because like my dad's last name, so that I used to have, it's an Ellis Island like made up name. So yeah, if you meet somebody with it, you're like, okay, well, we're clearly related somehow, because It's a real weird spelling that doesn't exist anywhere else in Europe, so okay.
And in Iceland, they actually have a dating app that you can check to make sure you're not related with the person you're thinking about dating.
Oh, hey, that's pretty handy.
Yes, because it's such a small, population.
Well, yeah. Especially when you think about the way they do their last names, though, right?
Yeah.
Since their last names are just the name of their dad thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, different.
Yeah. Helgason. Yeah. Yeah, right. Like, no,
like
but yes,
the son or the daughter of the dad's name.
Yeah. Trish was saying in Korea, up until 95, you couldn't get married to someone with the last name, but there were only,
20 last names?
Yeah, there was only so many last names.
Well, and I think
which made it hard.
Recently, there was how they always know which Kim they come from and stuff too. And up until recently, if you were from the same line of Kims or whatever, you couldn't get married either. And it's been even more recently they've loosened up some of those rules too. No, it's fine. You're 10 cousins 6 times removed. I think we're good.
Yeah. Or, just putting this out there. If you don't want to marry someone you're related to in a homogenous society, you could always just marry an immigrant. Putting that out there. It's always so funny, because, in the Maritimes, which is where I'm from, they've actually had a big push for immigration because the population was aging so rapidly and all the young people were moving out west that they were like, immigrants! I know we've been kind of bad about y'all in the past, but I hear you, Filipino community, have a lot of elder care nurses in your career ranks. Welcome. And that's essentially, and I think a lot of the Syrian refugees ended up in the Maritimes because they were like, hey,
we need people.
We have no one here. Please join us. So. Yes, all the made-up surnames. Well, listen. Exactly, Mike. Welcome and have babies. Technically, aren't all names made up? If you go back far enough, we're all just, See, now, my last name is 2 first names, so it's
So, it's made up.
No, it's one of my last name. I don't want to say my full last name on the internet. Yeah. It seems like a foolish thing to do, but you know how some last names are also first names?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I told Matthew, my husband, that he should change his last name to my last name, so then he would have 4 first names. Because I think that would be incredible. So it's first name, middle name, 2 last names, all first names. I think that would be great, but no takers so far. Oh, Nicole. Yeah, Kinnan's a great last name, though. Finnish. Very cool, very cool. See, what's really funny right now is we had, a goal for a live stream. But what is happening is what happens every time of all the stuff.
Well, I was about to try to get us back.
Yeah, but this is actually very indicative of what happens when we're actually recording a podcast, because we will take little adventures, and by little I mean large adventures into unrelated content, which gets cut from the episodes.
But sometimes it'll be.
We make Jesse hard.
You really do.
We will gather a little bit. But yeah, bring it back. All right, Sky, bring us back. Sky's good at that. She's good at putting us back on track.
I was just gonna say, if there are any questions about the podcast or anything at all.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. Or dramas or music.
Yeah, or anything, we
didn't really have a plan for this, just that we were going to.
we're just coming to hang out and.
So as far as what I'm excited for the Mount Jury-san.
Mm-hmm.
Super excited for that.
And Silent Sea, real pumped for the Silent Sea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's
My Name.
Yeah.
My Name comes out very soon.
They also just announced that Aichi was announcing all of the new shows they have, and they have a contract marriage drama coming up.
Yeah, that's the one with Crystal.
And
Crystal and
dude from
Kim Jae-wook.
Life. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm like,
did you read the thing? It's like a contract marriage because of a serial killer.
Yes, it's like no. Do you know what they did? Somehow the writer of it went into my brain, okay,
and said, to us at some point.
And said, what does Natalia want more than anything in the world? And it's contract marriage with serial killers. Duh. Well, not like with the serial killers, but like because
that'd be a good drama.
And isn't it? It's like the boss and the secretary,
and
then they're like fake dating or something to get away from something serial. Like, all right, okay.
I'm in. You had me at hello.
You got
drama. You had me at hello.
That service is definitely it's getting the K-drama fans.
Yeah, they're also picking up some other shows too. I think they're starting to do some Filipino shows.
Yeah,
that's released.
That's cool.
Well, listen, since China's been really curtailing what they can produce there, I can see the monetary necessity of going outside of the mainland.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
They probably already had plans to get more K-dramas and stuff because that's just good business in general. But yeah, now it's like you better do something.
Okay, I've got to read you the synopsis because it's great. So if you don't want to actually hear this synopsis, I guess come back in 30 seconds.
Plug your ears.
So, in Crazy Love, a genius maths tutoring center CEO, what's this, Kim Jae-wook, they spelled weird, receives a death threat and tries to seek out the murderer by pretending to suffer memory loss. He even enters into a sham marriage with his introverted secretary by Crystal, who is diagnosed with a terminal illness.
Yes! No, they're just checking off all of, yes!
Between...
Oh, I think Jessie froze.
She froze.
Oh, you froze, Jessie. You were taken away by the magic of this show.
I know. I can see, it slowly just, disintegrate. Okay, but it's just between them as scary yet sweet romance blossoms. And it's directed by Kim Jong-hyun, who just did Awaken. So, there you go.
I love it. I love it. It has taken all of my favorite shit.
At least they tell you straight up, though, right?
Yeah.
So, let's say if you hate one of those tropes, you could be like, okay, I'm skipping that. At least they tell you. It's not a surprise thing.
I feel like they're doing they've got a jar of all the tropes and they just pick one. They're like, okay, make this, and this, and then here's your story set up.
They've got the genre jar out.
Yeah.
All of it.
Our old friend, the genre jar.
or let's say they wrote a big chunk of it and they're like, there's a big hole here. Let's take one of the, just add that in. And...
What do I add, a little bit of spice to this? Terminal illness. Yes. No. Contract.
I haven't done that in a while.
Terminal illness. It's like a mad scientist of tropes.
Fake amnesia.
I bet you anything, there's something happens at the end and he'll have real amnesia and won't know who she is, right?
Of course.
Yes.
Because they'll meet up with the murderer. Election comes. Yeah.
You're speaking my language. See?
Oh, no, face blindness. There sure was a year there. It was the year of face
blindness. Right. Face blindness was real in. It was real in.
It was the
2 years
ago.
Social
commentary they needed for it. They're we need representation of this in Korean media right now, and you're like, is this a campaign to get people aware of it? I mean, it's cool now. I know it's a thing, but I just didn't know.
The only drama that I can think of that I thought actually fit well with the plot, really, really well, was The Beauty Inside.
Yeah, that actually made sense.
Like, it made sense. It complemented the other strange fantasy element in that show and movie.
Like, listen, I recognize that face blindness is a thing.
It is true.
It is a thing. I don't feel like it's as prolific as, like...
It's that 1 year made it seem.
Dramas had us believe.
With CEOs of companies. Too,
yeah.
Right? It's only...
Always. It was always, like, some rich dude with face blind. But let me be honest. There were some bangers of shows that had face blindness. Like, there was another one. It was The Secret Life of My Secretary made sense, too. Because
that 100 Days had it.
Yeah.
She had it in My Hollow Love.
Bye. Have fun at work.
Yeah, did My Hollow Love have it?
Didn't she have... She kind of had it or something. There was something because that was the thing. He would, like, tell her who she was talking to.
That's right. She did have face blindness.
Right? Because everybody thought she was just rude, but it was like she didn't know she was, like, bumping into people that she knew.
No, but, like, I feel like Secret Life made sense because he had brain damage. So it wasn't like, it was a situational, temporary face blindness. It wasn't, like, all the time face blindness. But, man, it was everywhere.
It really was.
Everywhere. There was like a year where multiple personalities was everywhere too.
Yeah.
Which was the year Kill Me Heal Me came out. Now listen, Kill Me Heal Me, great, it's great. But I feel like Hi Jekyll and Me in the category of multiple personalities was really like had the misfortune of coming out at exactly the same time. I really liked that one. And sometimes I feel like yes, he did. Oh, I forgot about this one. A villain, listen, I feel like if you're going to be a serial killer, having face blindness probably isn't a great asset to your serial killing, but he made it work.
But
he was booked, he was busy.
Who you kill?
Is it a thing? Like, is it a big thing in Korea? Like, are we just, like, not blind to that?
Yeah.
Blind. But, like, I didn't mean to make that fun, but it happened. But because I do know that, like, a lot of the times it happens because of, like a catastrophic event, and mostly, like, car accidents. And so maybe since the, like, high rate of car accidents or pedestrian accidents, maybe, I don't know.
It does make you wonder if the rate is higher in order for it.
Like, this is a curious...
Because has a Western show had it?
Man.
Like, I'm sure they have, but I'm gonna be honest, I don't watch that many.
I don't know. I never heard of it. I thought it was something K-drama land made up until... Like,
I honestly did too.
Right? Like,
but I guess it did do that. I actively researched it and, like, got to know what it is. Yes. Also, I'm saying that, like, maybe because that's true. Like, it's a true, like, lived experience for special people in Seoul. Like, car accidents are a big thing.
Statistically, the amount of people and the amount of cars and how many accidents can happen.
But it's also a very easy plot line to get rid of someone. But I love how, like, we all have, like, PTSD about it. Like, I was watching...
Anytime you see a truck, you're like,
that shaman show, that little show that just aired.
Yeah.
There's one part where he kind of, like, runs backwards, and it's, like, into the street, and I freaked out.
Oh, God.
Nothing happens. But, like, I was
watching, like, Coffee
don't
Prince,
play me
and,
this
like,
way.
the, like, third to last episode or something, and the cousin's all excited, and he's talking on the phone, and runs down to the end of his driveway and out into the... I was like, no! And then he was fine. Like, there was no problem.
Listen,
like,
we've been burned
I was sure he was
too many
die.
times, okay? We've been burned too many times.
Almost, to me, I've seen enough, too, of, like, bus accidents, too. So, like, if it's a certain part of the plot, and if someone's just being extra sad kind of by themselves in a bus, like, later something, I'm like...
Yeah.
Something's gonna happen.
Something's gonna hit this bus.
Yeah,
it's like, it's like
transport truck,
or it's like, it's sort of like a beat, right? It's like if you see a woman walking down like a dark alley, you're like, girl, run, girl, no, you're in danger, like get out of here.
Do you think that seeing that in media enough maybe helps women be a little more aware of the fact that it is dangerous to walk by themselves?
Oh, I think women are pretty aware it's
I would hope
dangerous.
So.
I don't I mean, it's definitely gotten worse in Korea too. So like, there's got to be and there's got to be something that maybe it is such a bad thing that like trucks hitting people that like that's their PSA that hey,
stop hitting people.
Doing that, or like stop being so like
dumb
free to go into the road, because I feel like that happens a lot, and it's just like common for their culture to do that, and then they're like, but really, seriously, this is actually like a terrible thing. You need to. I know it's ingrained in you.
You're crying right now over fake people.
Think of
maybe like people. Don't do that to your family. So like,
no,
stay home.
No, like every once in a while though, a truck of doom will just come out of nowhere and just completely ruin your day. Amanda knows what show I'm talking about.
I mean, that show because I've never watched that episode. So
that's right. That episode doesn't exist. It ended at minute 45 of episode 11. There is no episode 12. I'm sorry to tell you, that's the end of that show. And if you know, you know. If you know, you know. We don't need
not salty at all.
We're gonna move on. If you know, you know.
Speaking of salty, so a show that's out right now, Yumi Cells. They have all those little cartoon cell characters.
So cute.
So in the latest episode that I watched, there's this little one named King Salty. It's in the dude's brain, and pretty much it was a situation where he was upset. So all of a sudden, King Salty comes out of nowhere, and he's just gonna like mess everything up, and so he just pouts, and everyone's like, "No, don't screw up!" And he just keeps pouting, and it just ruins everybody's day. It was hilarious. The cells are like the best part of that show. It's just really silly.
I'm like waiting to start that one because I kind of feel like I want to binge it. I just binged the best named drama of 2020, You Raise Me Up, which was about Yoon Shi-yoon's character having erectile dysfunction.
I started watching that one.
It is so good. It is so much better than you expect. But I have one problem with it, okay? And here's my one problem with this show. It's great. It's heartfelt. It's, it's beautifully done. But, so they make him out to be this, like, they make Yoon Shi-yoon, okay, just stay with me, to be like, oh, he's like such a loser who like never exercises and is out of shape.
Yeah, sure.
Boy is ripped as hell.
They're constantly talking about like how he, he's kind of fat and he's gained a lot of weight.
I'm like, muscles.
Like he's been over in his like part-timer job, and his t-shirt is
muscles are like
pulling
busting out
on his and you're like,
there's like a swimming scene. There's like a swimming scene, and he's wearing like a wetsuit top, and it's just all like defined muscles. I'm like, yeah, this is some out of shape flunky, that's for sure. Yeah, that's
like a bad haircut doesn't cover the rest of this up.
But anyway, besides that, the show is excellent. I do recommend.
Did it end up being kind of romancy, or was it kind of not?
Like yes, but that wasn't really the point. Like,
okay, I was
it's short too, right?
Yeah, it's only like six or eight episodes. Yeah, 8 episodes maybe. I watched it in one day, so I can't tell you how many episodes for sure it had.
That's meaningless because you're you, but
I'm me. Yeah, I don't sleep, watch anything. Really good. It was really good.
My husband, he went on an Asian drama binge. I'm so proud.
Yes, I'm so proud.
So he did. Fair. Now I am gonna preface. I've tried to have my husband watch a couple different dramas, but I haven't been good about like. I'm trying to think. I think we watched that robot show. Anyway, one in its entirety a long time ago, but so he watches dubbed and subbed on Netflix, so that's what helped him watch it. But Squid Game, then he went to Alice in Borderland, then he binged Sweet Home, I think all of yesterday. I think that's all he did yesterday.
Yes. We'll be besties.
One of us.
And now he's not on to an Asian drama, but he's watching Sense8. So yeah, at least he gets some Bayduna.
One of us.
Yeah.
He'll become one of us. I love it.
I downloaded that Likewise app last week, and it's like basically movies, TV shows, books, and podcasts, and you put in everything that you like, and then in theory it'll tell you like, hey, like other people who liked this also like this, but like people have a lot of, so I don't get like recommendations that are actually good, but I mostly spend my time. Half the things recently have been people going, I really like Squid Game, what else should I watch? So it's just like, okay, Alice in Borderland, Sweet Home, maybe Prison Playbook, if because it's kind of dark and has one of the same guys in it. Like, I've got like this like group of like 5 answers. So every time somebody, okay.
Listen, you're doing God's work out here. You're doing God's work, Amanda. You're telling the people what they need to know. I got my mom addicted to Hospital Playlist while I was home.
Nice.
I wasn't actually going to watch it with her. I was just watching it by myself, and she just sort of wandered in, and then was like, after she watched one episode, was like, oh, when are we going to watch our show again? I was like, our show? Fine. Sure. We really loved it, though. What a good show. If you haven't seen Hospital Playlist, it's on Netflix. You should watch it. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Thumbs up.
So good.
It gets the 4 thumbs up of Noona approval. Hospital Playlist does. Super.
Has anyone watched any of the like little variety show that they're doing?
I haven't yet.
No, I haven't yet.
Looks cute.
Yeah.
I plan on watching it at some point.
I'm like so behind on my watching because of like the 3 weeks that I had like basically no internet. I am very much ahead. You? It did. I am very much ahead on my Teen Wolf watching because I had all of Teen Wolf saved on my computer. So it's like, when all else failed, I had Teen Wolf and Scarlet Heart on my computer. So,
alright.
Mom was like, what are you watching over there? I'm like, I'm watching Teen Wolf. I don't want to hear it, Mom. I don't want to hear it.
Don't even think about it.
I don't need your opinion about Teen Wolf, okay?
Let me live my life, Mom, okay?
Oh, God. No, but it's funny because she has a friend who loves that stuff. Like, who's like my mom's age. Like, my mom's in her late 60s. And her friend loves it. She's like, vampires, werewolves. So Mom's like, okay, give me all of your, like, recommendations of shows you think Marianne would like. And I'm like, she'd want to check out Kingdom. She's going to check out Sweet Home. She should check out Teen Wolf. She should check out Let's Fight Ghosts. I'm like, I don't know. I'm just, like, throwing anything I got at her. I'm like, Marianne, you, me? Same. Friends.
I think the next one I'm going to have my husband watch is Kingdom. But I'm trying to prepare his headspace for, like, a historical, since he has not seen such before.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure he'll love it. He's a cool dude.
I think so.
Listen, he put up with all of us on a camping trip with him.
It's very true. He can power through Kingdom after that.
Like, you can do anything after that.
If you do all 4 Noonas at the same time.
And we brought the booze. Hey,
and still, I'm still sad about the rice wine thing.
I know.
I'm still sad about that. Because, so the story is simply, we were camping together and they had bought some awesome vegan rice wine thing.
Macaulay or whatever. Yeah.
And we were so excited, and we did not drink it.
We fell asleep and didn't drink it.
We found it the next morning in the little fridge, and we were like, oh.
Because we were glamping, by the way. We were.
No. We were not glamping. We were not out there in the wild.
Especially because
beds.
We literally came from being in Chicago, going to see Monster X to this thing. So it was just like nonstop driving everywhere. Until we got there, and I was like, I don't wanna.
And then it rained, so it was good that you weren't roughing it.
That's true.
We had a good time though. We cooked hot baki over an open flame. I think that was our greatest caper, and sweet potatoes.
Sweet potatoes,
and we had some s'mores.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was nice.
We did not know it was the before times. We had no idea it was the before times.
And we made plans for the next year to do all this special stuff. Then next year happened.
Yeah, Yeah, you notice this is our third anniversary, and we are virtual. We are not in person.
Yes. Listen, we had tickets. We had tickets to go see the 80s.
Yeah, we did.
Listen.
I had so many tickets for so many things.
I still have not been refunded my airfare.
I would like that money back at this point.
I have so much money on airfare that I have until next year to use. I can't get it back. I just gotta use it.
They just wouldn't give it back. They were like, oh, sorry, like, it's an act of God. I'm like, this is bullshit. They're like, oh, there's no refunds. I was like, you know what?
Give it back to me. I will be guaranteed using it again. Just I need to, like, not do it in your parameters. Like, come on.
Right.
Yeah, I still have the ticket for ATs. They haven't let go.
Yeah, we all still have the ticket for ATs.
And that's kind of the thing about it. And it's one thing if you live in the area and the change of dates, like, doesn't, it's not a big deal for you because you live in the area or close enough. But when you live very far away, and in the meantime there's a pandemic, it's like, I'd like that money back. Like, that would be helpful.
You know what really stung, though, was how nice the Airbnb person was before refusing to refund us.
I worked really hard. My communication skills worked really hard with that person, and then it failed.
She was so nice to us, and then was like, yeah, F you.
Well,
no.
I think it was a dude, so let's just say that it's a dude. Whatever.
Yeah.
They were, I had tickets to the other Monster X, like, one, too. Like, I had that. I had tickets to go see Radwimps in LA, and I had bought all these tickets to go do things. Because I was planning it out ahead of time so I could get all the Southwest deals. So my trip wouldn't be that expensive. And then it was like, no, actually, you can't now. So, cool.
Oh, Sarah. Oh.
I know, you got the good ones, but I want to let go of it so I could have that money. I need that money.
Listen, we had pretty good tickets, too. You know what I mean?
I don't even remember. Did we?
No, not really.
Not really. We had balcony
because
tickets.
Remember, it like messed up.
It was so good. And
it messed up and wouldn't let me use the code or whatever it was. And then we had to get like spaced out tickets. Like one person was going to be one place, and I think we could reach over.
Because my husband was coming with us, and we had like 3 tickets together, and then like one ticket like 2 rows ahead, and we were like, he can sit there.
We're like, we can touch each other, okay? And I think literally, I remember being at work doing it, and it was just a mess. And so finally I got through, and I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to grab whatever I can grab, and then we'll deal with it later.
Right.
We had such good luck with our Monster X tickets, though. We had sick tickets for Monster X. They're not sick if you're young, but if you're old ladies like us, they were sick
if you're smart.
Yes.
I'm going to go see a group of people who dance, and there's like 7 of them. I'm going to go up in the balcony first row so I can see them all.
First row balcony. Ooh, sat down.
It was fantastic.
And I could sit down every single time. I was like, you should stand up. And we were like, no.
At one point, they were like, everybody up. Stand up, stand up. And this old lady, like 2 rows over, like seats over from us, stood up. And then she saw me and Janiyah, like, she looks over. Janiyah's sitting down. I'm sitting down.
Jesse and I are sitting down, and she's just like, oh.
And she's like,
this is an option.
Sits back down. She's just like, okay. I mean, I'm like, they're not my boss. Like, I love them, but like,
we paid for these seats.
It was also like standing around for like 3 hours before this thing, where like they weren't letting us in. We're sitting.
No.
Thanks.
Listen, I paid for the whole seat. I'm not just using the edge. I'm getting right in there. We had a good. Oh, that was such a fun time.
That was fun.
In the before times.
Yeah. We're so hopeful then.
I saw someone on Twitter who they were at one of the first AT's concerts, and they were standing, and someone they did not know who was right behind them was, filming on their phone, and they just plunked their phone right on that person's head.
No.
I have not seen or heard something like that before.
Unacceptable.
So
Someone they
yes,
didn't even know.
I
It's
don't
not
do that.
like if you don't know the person, don't touch them.
No. I'd also like swat that camera off of me. So if you want a camera, maybe don't do that.
Yeah.
Oh,
There
you
was
want
a-
to give this to?
Yeah. There was a guy
Anyway,
at
it's not
my
on the balcony
Dreamcatcher
anymore.
concert, and he was super tall, but he had a shirt, and he's like, "I'm really sorry" on the back of it.
Aw.
And I was like, "That's okay. We were all in the pit."
That's
Fine.
Standing
my
room.
husband is 6.5 feet tall, and so like anytime we go anywhere, he's like, "No, we'll stay in the back." And I'm like, "But I am not 6.5 feet tall,
I am
so I would
short.
like to go."
I would like
I need to go
up
up there.
Like,
See, what's kind of fun is that all of these people have never actually seen us in like from not here up, so there's no
Yeah.
concept of how tall we
Yeah.
are.
actually, I
people.
am 6.5 feet tall. You don't know.
That's
Yeah.
right. I'm the tallest woman in Canada.
Well,
Thank you. No, I'm not. I'm
what was kind of
5'2"
funny-
and a half. I got nothing.
I think when we met in person, we kind of did, like we kind of knew how tall each other were, but like then when we saw each other, it was different because I'm way taller than you guys.
Yeah, we got the three shorties and the tall MacNay here.
Yeah.
It's also crazy because I had the car, so I picked up like everybody but Sky because we met up with Sky at her campground. And so it was like, okay, we're going to the airport. I'm just gonna like hope that like this is not a face blindness situation. I mean, it was fine. Like you could tell.
Found me. It was
yeah.
fine. It was fine. It was fine.
And then we had to go get Amanda at the train station.
No, we dropped off Amanda. Amanda was already at my cousin's house.
Oh,
That
that's
was?
true.
Yeah, Amanda
Yeah, we
was
dropped
at
you
our cousin's
off.
house. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was fun because I'm like, "Hi," and she's like, "You must be one of Natalie's friends," and I was like,
Who?
"Natalia, yes, I am."
Yeah, my family calls me Natalie. It's a whole,
We also
I
got
mean, she was
so
super
like
nice though.
it was so
Oh, yeah,
late
they're
when
very-
we got
they're very
in
nice.
too.
We got in. Yeah,
So
my
we're
cousins
also
are
like,
great.
like in Chicago and every place, it's just the way that Chicago is. It's the grid system, and so like we were trying to have to like navigate the neighborhoods to find the back entrance
The
so we
alley
could
to
park
get
the
into
car,
the-
the alley, and but then also get into the house without waking up the entire house.
Because they had like I think her son was like 2 at the time.
Yeah.
Something like that. And there were like 90 cats. They foster cats. It's not like they're hoarders of cats. They're cat fosters. And also, okay, both my cousin and her husband are both neurology professors at what's the Northwestern? Is that the big one in Chicago?
I don't know.
Whatever's the big university there. They both are very high up with PhDs.
They have a
They're
nice
very
house.
smart people. That house was
They
too
have a
nice. That house was too friggin' nice. I felt bad going in there. I was
It's
like,
supposed
ooh,
to-
I'm
but also
like-
it was like one of those things we walked in and everything was set up and we had more
Yeah.
towels and just all this stuff.
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
like, oh, this
She's
is
a very good
nice.
hostess.
I think it's just like when you walked in and there was like the dog shower. I was like, oh no, we're in a fancy house. Uh-oh.
Oh, that the worst for me was like when we were at the concert and we were waiting to like hook up with Janaya and we realized that none of us had ever seen her face because
Yes.
like thing on Twitter was like a drawing of it, like a character. It wasn't even a drawing of her.
That
Like,
was
and
that
we were
was
like-
hard.
So
Didn't
like
matter though. It was all
we
good.
she knew what we looked like, obviously. Like it was like, okay. But it was just like when you're sort of walking along like, you're not. No.
But I love that we like kind of like
No, you're
all
not.
realized at the same time. We're like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, Janaya's never actually had a
Yeah.
real icon.
We
Like it
don't
looks
have any
kind of like her, but it's
idea.
still a caricature. Oh,
Bye.
Bye, Frankie.
bye. Have fun
Cleaning.
working and cleaning and
Yeah.
I
Doing all
do
that
wanna
grunt work.
say, fan sites are crazy. That's the
Oh,
only
fan
thing I was
sites
going
are
to add
crazy.
from that
Mhm.
comment
They
earlier.
need to be
like,
stopped. They're unnecessary for the experience. And they just ruin the experience for everyone else. And
yeah.
make fans look like psychopaths.
I mean, across the board, because the closest fandom that I've been in with fan site stuff was Astro stuff. And for quite some time, it seemed like there were some fan sites that you knew were really nice, supposedly. But then something happened that angered the fan sites, and they got all really like childish and weird. And at that point, I was like, "Yeah, I'm done with this." Between some of them being stalkery and some of them being like that,
It's kind of that false sense of reality because the kids are still kids, but they're old enough to be able to do all this stuff and do all this planning. So in your head, you're like, they've got to be more mature than I'm thinking. And then you realize, oh no, this kid is like 15 years younger than me. Like, I just, in my head, made them like my age because we're fanning over the same things. And then also they're like actually like, you know, collecting money and distributing and like doing all these like really intensive things, and then you're like, oh no, they're still a 20-year-old.
I find like the raising money for billboards and stuff real friggin' weird. I find it weird,
especially here.
Listen,
it doesn't really matter.
I already pay for the albums, and you know. If there were more, if we weren't in the end times, I would go to more concerts and stuff. But like, bye Becca.
Bye Becca.
Another year indeed. Huzzah! I'll raise my cat. I'll raise my cat glass to y'all. But
no,
like,
I do like charities because to me, as long as you're doing something of use, like that's good. Might as well in someone's name if it's a good charity to begin with. That's fine. Like at least it does something.
And I will say that like the like fan sites like events that they do, even though they're not like really anything, it's still like fun in a way of like chipping in on that, so people can have an experience of like being with other people that are like minded, especially in like these kind of spaces that are still very like limited, and like you might not know anybody in your entire city, but like giving towards that, I understand is like it's kind of frivolous and it's just like it doesn't really go to anything but like maybe like a cup sleeve, but it's still like fun to know that you've like helped like an experience. Yeah,
like I can see that.
But like a billboard, that's so weird.
I mean, I guess I can see like some of those like the billboardy things and stuff if you in Korea, because you could go see it. There's a chance that they might actually see it, but like when it's like the Times Square in New York thing, and you're like, but like nobody cares. Like,
I mean, like I feel like
a lot of money
like
for
work
nothing
in Korea, but it's not going to work here. Like it's just a kind of different system. Like you could be doing a lot more that would actually work for here to get someone's name out.
I know,
or just like do good things in their name, like the charity stuff. I think that's a lot more meaningful.
I think that's pretty cool.
And also, I am tired of people trying to shame me into endlessly streaming one song. I don't got that kind of time. I'm a middle-aged lady. I will stream a song when I feel like listening to it.
I will stream it because I will like get obsessed with it and fixate on it. Sure. But like you're not gonna make me, and you know what it also does? It makes me not listen to it.
Yeah.
I will spite you into things.
And it's just like it's just like the shamey way some of them like write it, like, oh, other fandoms are better at the. I'm like, it's fucking listening to a song. Just enjoy the song. Move on with your lives. Touch some grass. Jesus. Good Lord.
Sorry.
I did give money to a sign in Korea for like, it was the Rose's first anniversary, and it was pretty cool because they did take a picture that they saw it and stuff at the time.
That's cool.
And it was obvious that like the way they did it, it was from all these different countries and stuff, so it was just really cool that they did.
Yeah, if the Rose gonna see it, I think that's good.
And they should have lots of nice things in their life. So.
But
or like it's a smaller fandom.
Yeah,
you know,
and at the time they were way smaller too. Like they weren't as big.
Yeah, like I also don't understand how like people can't realize that all they're doing is making Google money and not really anybody else. Like it's just like you realize it's literally benefiting Google at that point. And not really your faves, right? Like going to concerts and buying merch and buying albums is the only way that you can guarantee a good percentage of what you paid for is going back to the artist, not streaming. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't help like people see it. Like it stays at the same level. Like people are going to see it whether it's that or not, like that high of percentage, or they're not even going to pay attention to it. They're going to be like, "Oh, this seems weird." And it's not real, so they don't have that many fans and not watch it.
Right.
Yeah. And also, shaming people for not, being as good of a fan as you think they should be does not really have the effect of making them want to join your fandom that you
Absolutely
seem to think it does.
I know.
Yeah.
If you really wanted things to work out, like, this is not the way to do it.
And across the board, anytime anyone starts to pick on anyone being a multi, it's like, you need to touch some grass.
Open that front door, walk out into the sunshine, lean over, put your hands straight on that grass, and then rub them around. But
also, like, nobody believes you. Like, really, honestly, nobody believes you. Like, you can decide to pretend like you only listen to one person, but, like, we all are humans and we understand how behavior works, and that's not, like, a normal behavior. So, like, chances are your percentage of, like, doing that is not correct. So we can also see through it's obviously like younger kids who don't realize that, like, it's like glaringly obvious that they're lying, and they just don't understand that, like, you can tell.
And also, like, they just haven't realized that making one thing your entire personality, it's not the way to go, my dudes.
It's also not healthy.
Diversify.
It's
very
it really
is.
It's very unhealthy. Touch that grass.
Yes, Trish, I saw that too. That tweet, and it was like, and we're like, I don't have the time to have 50 tweets.
Listen, I am not a business, okay? I do not. My tweets are for fun.
So many times, and I'm like, I can't do it. So you're just gonna have to unfollow me if you don't want to see, like, the weirdness of my timeline.
It's really weird to be in that fandom space, because since I started in pretty much Astrofan Twitter, like, mostly younger kids, and that's definitely the way they think about it. Like, so it was strictly Astrofan accounts, and if someone got into a new group, they were expected to start.
No, that's insane.
And not even just a multi-account, but like
I will give you my PayPal account, and if you want to pay me to do that, absolutely.
100%.
But you're gonna have to pay me.
Tweet did almost, like, immediately afterwards said, okay, I get it. This is a me problem, not a you problem, and I will just curate my space better. And I was like, yes, like, do that. Like, that's on you. You do Twitter the way you want to do Twitter. You don't get to dictate how strangers do social media. That's not how this works.
It's probably the vast difference between 12-year-old Twitter and above 30 Twitter. Because above 30 Twitter's like, no. Like
listen.
Like, no, bye.
I'm like, all y'all, I got other things going on in my life and a variety of interests that I like to talk about. So you can just get effed. Move on.
It's either that or I at you with everything that's not about your preferred group. I can do that too. I can be petty.
You choose, my dude. You choose.
Like, over 30 Derby Twitter does not care that most of the time I talk about dramas in K-pop. No. They still love me, and they're still my friends. So, like, whatever. Like, sometimes I talk about derbies, and the rest of you all have to deal with that. And then most of the time I talk about other stuff, and they deal with it because we're grown-ups, and we all have a variety of interests. Because,
like, Trish says, I need sticker Twitter. I'm already sticker Twitter, y'all. That's right. Me just in the sticker world. But listen, like, I expect all of y'all to remain my Twitter mutuals when the Teen Wolf movie comes out next year. And I become Teen Wolf Twitter for a good month or two. Okay?
Oh, wow. Wow. That's serious.
Listen, you do not know. You do not know how much I love Teen Wolf. Like,
so when did you start being so into Teen Wolf? Like, was it?
I was into Teen Wolf when it started airing. Yeah. What year was that? Let's find out.
It's been a while.
Teen Wolf TV show. It started in 2011, so I have been big into Teen Wolf since 2011. Oh, okay, yeah. Mike just mentioned this show coming out soon. Yes. Oh, when the Dune movie comes out this month. Hell yeah, I'm pumped.
Scream 5 happens in January. Like, just leave my... just leave. And especially if you don't like X-Files, I'm like,
Yeah, get out.
yeah,
Like, listen,
I've decided. I was like, I'm just gonna talk about X-Files. I don't care at this point. Like, leave.
Do what you like, man.
Like, I'm starting. So like, I recently got a new tablet for my art, ostensibly for my art. But otherwise to watch videos on, bigger than my phone when I'm lying in bed and don't want to like lie on my back to watch the TV, but want to anyway. And it came with like a year's free Apple TV.
All right.
I'm like, hey, okay. Anyway, so I'm gonna be watching Foundation soon. I'm like real pumped. And I don't know if
you could probably hit some of those K-dramas that are coming out on
That's
Apple.
True. What is my favorite Teen Wolf. We've already been through this, Trish.
Well, I think it's for all of us. The question's
for the X-Files. Since, like, 94. Like, since the second season of the X-Files.
Yes. That and Bob's Burgers. Love Bob's Burgers. Like...
It's also Buffy. Buffy's...
Oh, Buffy,
even though Buffy now is hard to watch,
it is.
X-Files isn't. X-Files will never... I will give up everything for X-Files. Mm-hmm. I literally would. I know we were talking about, like, not being a stan person like that, but no. X-Files is that.
I think it's Firefly for me. Like, from a perspective of which TV show have I rewatched the most, it would definitely be Firefly.
I'm also a Criminal Minds fan.
Criminal Minds. Which, by the way, if you aren't aware, is on Disney Plus.
In Canada, but it's Netflix.
In Canada. Here. Netflix in the States, but if you're in Canada.
What about you, Sky? What's your favorite non-K-drama?
So, it's changed. It was Firefly, then it was Dark Matter.
Oh, and now it's...
And now it's Sense8.
Yeah, it is.
I'm pretty sure.
That's what I figured when you said it changed.
Yes, Farscape, Pushing Daisies, both on the list.
I'm going to admit, Dark Matter for me, I didn't watch the last 2 episodes. You can't make me watch the last 2 episodes, because then they got canceled. So I'm not going to exist on a cliffhanger with that. Like,
no. Sometimes you gotta do that for yourself.
All my people are still happy in their little ship. It's fine. Like, I'm not gonna mess with that.
Yeah, no. It just hurts too much sometimes. Yeah. It's like my group of friends we really liked How I Met Your Mother. And like to the point where like we're almost close to like at least the group setup of everything. So yeah, that ending.
Yeah, that last season was a thing that happened.
Goes out. I'm sorry.
You're turning into me from the last month.
I don't know why it doesn't like StreamYard, but it's like, no, I don't want to be around anymore.
I was also really into the librarians for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And Leverage. I like Leverage a lot.
Oh, I like Leverage too.
Mm-hmm.
Which I feel like there's going to be a Leverage movie, or there is a Leverage movie, and I
need
to go watch it.
I think so. There was like a new season of Leverage that just came out.
I think it was a movie, and I think had the guy from the librarians that like I really need to go watch it.
Crossover episode. Now I don't remember what the name of the show is. I do not remember, but I remember when I was in middle school, and I don't know if this was like a Canadian show, but I feel like it was, and it was made by Gene Roddenberry, who made Star Trek, and it was a sci-fi show, but it aired on the CBC, and the only reason I know this is because that was the only channel we had, and I wish I knew what the title was, because it was a sick TV show. Now,
Korean Leverage is really good, by the way, Trish.
I've heard mixed about the Korean Criminal Minds. I have not watched it.
I haven't watched it yet, yeah.
But Korean the producer of Criminal Minds liked and responded to my tweet once when I was talking about how I really wanted to see it.
I guess I probably watched Korean Leverage not at a place I should have watched it. So I don't.
What are you talking about? You watched it at a place you should have.
It existed somewhere, and I watched it. It was quite a while ago, though, like last year. Or maybe 2 years ago now. Whatever. Panorama. I know.
Who knows?
Was it Andromeda?
Andromeda?
Yes. Was that the one?
I remember Andromeda.
Yes. And there's this other
going
Canadian...
through the Gene Roddenberry list, and I was like, it's Andromeda. That's the one.
There's this... One second. I'm going to have to ask my husband. There's this other Canadian show that I'm obsessed with. Honey, what's the name of that show that's like about the scientists who study diseases?
Oh,
you know what I'm...
shoot. That's such a good show.
It's such a good show. I don't think my husband heard me. I think he's like playing video games or something. But
that was a wildly good show. Crap, I can't remember what it's called now.
What was the name of that show? It had Elliot Page in it. 1 second.
Do you remember that like the one with they had the dolphin that they learned to talk or had that talk? They had a device that it could talk.
Yeah.
Sequest DSV. Is that it?
Yes.
Sequest DSV. And it used to really annoy me because the one scientist woman always said human, but she said human, like she didn't pronounce the H on human. And there was like a whole thing about like humans versus like there was like, I don't know, people who were like clones or something. And human, he's human. And I was like, there's an H there. Just say the
Regenesis.
Regenesis is the name of the show.
That was so hard.
I was waiting.
This is not like the time to search those parameters. No. Just let me say.
No. Regenesis, if you have the opportunity, especially during these times, I might add, Regenesis hits different. But if you want to watch a great Canadian show,
that show was so good. It was so ahead of its time.
Oh, too. Ahead of its time. Regenesis, I think, let's see, we're...
Man, talking about this stuff makes you just want to rewatch it, you know?
Yeah.
I know.
And thanks to this wonderful age of streaming, so many of these things are available to us. Like,
yes, without having to... back in the day, you would have to go to the store and buy one season of it with all of them.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It was so much money for the one season.
Oh, God. Yeah. It's like a whole year's worth of streaming, like, costs for one season of a show on...
Oh my God.
I mean...
And then, like, when I was watching anime, I was watching it, like, you couldn't stream. Like, that wasn't a thing that you could do on the internet.
Right.
At that time. So, there were very few animes that were even licensed that you could buy. And so those, if you would buy, like, one disc or one VHS, it would be 4 episodes, and it'd be, like, $30 to $40 a piece.
Oh, my God.
At, like...
She gone.
I was like, wow, she's really thinking about that one.
She's back.
I'm here. I'm here. I see it, and then I have to freeze myself. But oh my gosh, I would have to go onto like message boards to find fan subbers because literally it wasn't an option.
Ages.
But I mean, I couldn't. It was not even like this like easy time where like people could watch like multi-parts of their dramas online. You literally could not even watch like more than a 30-second AMV. Like
so how would that work when you found a fan subber? Was it just like the script and you would just have to have that as you watched it, or like
it would be a message board? This is totally you can't get me now. This was way too long ago, but it was a message board and you would buy them. They had ripped episodes and subbed it themselves onto VHS.
I see.
So
I may in high school have flirted with the nerds with better internet than I had, so that they would burn me CDs that I could watch on my laptop of anime with fan subs.
Yeah, so like we literally the thing was you had to find your like anime people because then you could all watch the series together and it'd be split between the group and not just
oh my
yeah. I see someone mentioning the original Roswell. I had a
my god,
I was a Max Maria like enthusiast. I had a giant posters. So on like the door frame of my of my door in my bedroom, there used to be a website called the Crashdown Cafe, which was like a fan site for Roswell, and it had like screen cap images from every single episode. So like every 10th frame, someone would take a screen cap and upload them, and I would print them out and I would stick them on my door frame. I didn't have a TV at the time. Like, we didn't have any channels except for CBC. But the girl who lived up the street, who was like a year younger than me, had satellite. So I used to pay her to tape Roswell and Dark Angel for me every week on VHS. I would give her on the school bus a VHS, and the next day she would give it back with Roswell and Dark Angel, and that was... Loved it. Obsessed. Dark Angel, that was a good show. Well, season one was a really good show.
Yeah.
It went a little downhill, but
there's a lot of shows that are really good in season 1. And
in college, for some reason, me and my friends, well, I mean, it's a good show, but for some reason we were obsessed with The Office. Like, we spoke in Office quotes.
Yeah. And I think we all kind of had that time period.
And then during that period of time, there was an ice storm. Me and my friends, we were in the middle of winter semester thing. Ice storm, we were stuck for a week, and we just watched Office the entire time.
I was not this last visit, but the visit before, my mom was cleaning out her house, and I found all of my Roswell VHSs, and I was like, it was that, and then I also had Cardcaptor Sakura that someone had taped for me on VHS, so I had all of Cardcaptor Sakura and the movies.
I remember I recorded for myself. I was way into Star Trek the original series, and so I would record like my favorite episodes, and I couldn't just leave it like that because to me it wasn't fun enough, so I would go print off pictures like from the internet, like of tribbles or whatever, and I would put them on there. I would always decorate my VHS.
Nice.
Yeah.
I remember you used to be able to get like sticker sheets to print in the computer, and it was like the VHS like shaped label, so you could print out exactly what you wanted to.
I would record all of the X-Files on VHS.
Since the fellas at the D&D club used to burn me CDs and DVDs of anime, I used to print my own little CD labels and use a little X-Acto to like cut out the circle.
That for our mixes. I guess we can like have all our anime mixes. They're always for like trips to like Orlando to go to like the conventions. Anime Festival Orlando Mix 2001.
I will not tell you what song it is, so you can never find it and never trace it back to me. But I do have a singular YouTube video on an old channel that is a Cowboy Bebop anime music video.
Bet I can find it.
There's many, but will you find it? Who knows? Who knows?
Challenge accepted.
This is now a new internet quest. Find the terrible anime music video Natalia made once upon a time.
Speaking of Cowboy Bebop, I'm really pumped.
I am too. Cowboy Bebop was the first anime that I watched, got to watch on TV because it came to Cartoon Network, and I'm just like I remember that being such like a turning point in like watching anime that like there was an actual. I mean, like you had like Sailor Moon on, kids shows, but
it was always like
it was the first one that I had access to, and I was like, oh, this is great. So like I have a very like a fondness of Cowboy Bebop because of that. And I'm so excited for the movie. Like, could you have told young Jessie that would be a thing that happened, and she believed you? No.
Trish, I really do recommend Cowboy Bebop because if you like Firefly, you like Cowboy Bebop.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Agreed.
Is it time to wrap it up?
I think it might be time to wrap it up. Though this has been like super fun. I love doing
I'm tired. My old lady parts say yes. It's time to go to bed.
I took a nap earlier.
We're packing up the trailer, so we were.
I haven't eaten dinner yet, so I should probably surprise. I haven't eaten dinner.
Oh
yet,
yeah, that's a shocker.
Oh yeah, Outlaw Star too. Yes, loved Outlaw Star. I think I still have it on DVD.
I need to watch Outlaw Star. I have not watched that one yet.
Slayers was like my anime of choice, and sweet lovely Beth, sent me all of Slayers on DVD. One time.
I was an Askanoona girl. Oh my god, I loved that show so much.
Oh, I loved Tenchi Muyo, Tenchi Universe, the whole Tenchi everything.
Utena.
Big fan.
Serial Experiments Lane, because I've never not been into horror and weird stuff. Oh my gosh. Record of Lotus War is actually phenomenal too, if you could ever get it. Oh.
I just used to watch a lot of Aeon Flux in college. Like,
yeah.
Oh, that was a sick show.
A lot of Aeon Flux.
That was a sick show.
That's very showed up sometime on MTV.
It's like if you ever want to feel like what LSD is without ever taking it, Aeon Flux, the TV show, that'll do it for you. Anyway, we should probably wrap this up. Thank you all for coming to our live stream and celebrating with us. And we've been around for a while. We love all y'all, and we think you're the tops. And
I also love Gravitation. I still have my like OSTs. Sorry.
I remember watching at a very young age, probably far too young, the first Ghost in the Shell movie. And I would have nightmares of like the android whose fingers like separated like hundreds of times so he could type. I was too young for that when I watched it, but
we need to do an anime episode, I guess.
We do. Yeah, when all y'all like an anime episode, we can make it happen. Anyway, we're gonna bid you adieu. Thank you for coming to our live stream. We'll probably have another one sometime soon because we enjoy these and they're fun and we love hanging out with you.
Thank
you.
Anyway,
keep enjoying Age Entertainment. Woo!
Bye.
Bye.
And Teen Wolf. Watch Teen Wolf. Bye.